Heineken River Deck here in New York City. Welcome back to Jalen Jacoby Jalen. Who do we have the honor of joining us right now?
This icon embodies hip-hop in every way, shape, or form. Not only as a terrific artist, but a leading voice in culture for decades. Please welcome Uncle Chuck D to the program. We're so very gracious you took the time to join us.
Nah, I'm gracious that y'all invited me back for a second time.
Well, we're going to get to your Mets in a second, but we have to start with the New York Knicks. They have a huge
That's
game
what I'm
tonight.
saying. That's the New York. That's the New York up there.
What did it feel like sitting on the couch watching playoff Knicks basketball?
We are really gracious to have this, this shot. It's big stage. Big stage, big stage. That's what it is. And that's figuratively and literally, because this is the big stage for the Knicks to get to after 8 years. And also they on a big stage where all eyes are on them. And I say the story of this year, as well as the team, is also the Knicks fan.
And you've been one of the people that, along with Spike Lee, when I think about the elevation of the Knicks brand for so very long, you've been at the forefront of not only representing your hometown team, but elevating the brand like you just mentioned. Can you describe what it's like being a New York Knicks fan to true New Yorkers?
Yeah, man, I've been a fan since 1967, sitting at the knee of my father, remembering, this team doesn't remind me of the 90s Knicks. It reminds me of the 70s Knicks coming out of the late 60s when I first became a fan as an 8, 9, 10-year-old. This defense, find open man, Tibbs and Red Holtzman are similar. Julius Randle and R.J. Barrett's like a young Willis and Clyde. I see more similarities there. So it's a fair go. All we want to do is see effort. It ain't like we had any ulterior motive. Like being a Knicks fan, to my oldest daughters, they were like, they're Knicks fans too, but in their minds, we always sucked, and why is Daddy doing that, to himself? So, yeah, we feel the pain. We get the pain. So in tonight's game, it's about, the effort and that we could, tie it up. Like I said, big stage, big stage.
You mentioned that there's two teams in New York City. The Nets have 3 superstars, but no one seems to care around the city. Like, I'm here in the streets of Manhattan. It just seems like they only have the Knicks, and the Nets might as well still be in New Jersey. Explain that philosophy as a New Yorker.
I'm from Long Island, man. Strong Island. The Nets still got that curse for trading Dr. J down the New Jersey Turnpike. Like the Knicks, we had the curse of just peddling away Patrick Ewing for nothing. So we tried to get out of that curse. The Nets got the Dr. J curse in '76. So, we got to also have the theory of we unbought and we unbossed. So, it's about the effort. So the other team, hey, don't the Russian guy own it? Give Dr. J some super stock, and maybe that curse will come off.
Very well said. And Marv Albert, who's synonymous also with the Knicks, announced that he's retiring after the end of this year. And you've also acknowledged how he's influenced your rap style. Would you like to pay homage to him and how he's been an influence on your rap style?
Yeah, Marv Albert, simple as that. Growing up 8, 9, 10 years old, listening to Marv Albert on the radio announce basketball games and importantly, hockey games, there was nothing like his flow, his bass, his inflections, his rhythms. By the time everybody nationally had gotten Marv Albert, he was already a legend. He was a legend, and nobody could understand, like, how does this dude get so soulful, man? Well, I guess it comes out.
In regards to tonight's game, they need a win. You can't lose the first 2 at home. What do you think they can do to adjust to beat the Hawks tonight?
Well, as a fan, I would say OGs matter. Alec Burks, Taj was amazing. Of course, D Rose. OGs matter. Coaches matter, man. Hopefully we can duck the injuries and see the effort out there. And, Atlanta got weapons. They got tools. But we have something like the great Isaiah Thomas said, it's not a matter of skills, but it's a battle of wills, man. And that's a whole nother level, man. And this is all new for all of us. It's all new for fans. It's new for the league. Everybody's gotten back into their places post-pandemic. And it's definitely new for a lot of the players. All these cats are still young, man. So, you know, in their 20s, man, we have to have a respect for that, of what they're going through, because it's for the first time they're going through. So they could also get dazzled by the lights and stuff like that.
Let's go,
Thank
Knicks.
you very much, legend. I love you. I appreciate you.
No, I appreciate y'all, man. Go Knicks, but it's a go league. It's a good thing, and it's great to be a fan.
Thank Uncle Chuck for coming through, and you can get the entire Chuck D interview on our podcast. Make sure you listen to that today. And Jalen.
Also, I got to make sure I say this. Chuck D has always had bars.
That is true. Well, the mayor of New York City had some bars for a player on the Atlanta Hawks. He's coming for Trae Young. And I'll tell you what me and the mayor of New York City have in common. Stay tuned for that. You're watching Jalen and Jacoby. Game, and it was another performance from that man, Luka Doncic. The Clippers have no answer for him defensively. What do they do now against Luka?
They're in trouble. And as somebody who was resident Clipper bandwagon soon as Kawhi and Paul George did their press conference, I injured my ankle jumping off the bandwagon last year when our king Jokic here. I looked at the Clippers playing against the Mavs, and I was like, they can't get upset again. They can't get upset again. And you know what it made me realize?
What's that?
The Clippers, as a franchise, just can't handle prosperity. Like, every time that they're the favorite, they come up short. Kawhi was balling. What also did I tell you that I didn't like about the Clippers at the beginning of this year? I don't like their collection of guards.
No.
Like, I wish they were like one player. You know what I'm saying? And on the perimeter, you mean to tell me all NBA Luka can't get slowed down by Kawhi, PG, and Patrick Beverly at all?
Those are supposed to be three of the best defenders. And let's not forget this, Jalen Rose. The Clippers lost to the Rockets and the Thunder to get this matchup. Now what are you going to do with it?
And also, I told you, it started in Detroit. Tim Hardaway Jr. been on fire.
Yes.
Like MOP ever since that game. And these two games, while you're talking about headliners, let's make sure we acknowledge how he has played and the numbers that he has put up and how he has shot the ball so very well for three and has given Luka a version of a dynamic duo. Remember we were saying that Kristaps Porzingis was going to be the guy that steps up for the Mavs if they're going to eliminate the Clippers? Well, Tim Hardaway Jr. Big shout, nephew. Getting it done in games 1 and 2.
Tim Hardaway Jr. looks so good. This Mavs team looks so good, and they're led by Luka. Well, no matter what you did to Luka, switch, double team, blitz. He's got an answer for everything, and he's only in his third year. And there's one thing that I thought while watching Luka play. They've got themselves another franchise cornerstone. They've got themselves another Dirk Nowitzki, and he hit a one-legged three. And guess who was right there in the stands to watch? That man, Dirk Nowitzki. This was a great performance, not just from Luka, but from everyone on this team, including Kristaps Porzingis, who they're going to need if they're going to advance. I love the Dirk-Luka handoff.
And now let me tell you something, dog. I've been watching the NBA since the 70s. I have never seen a player shoot a three off one leg like that so effortlessly and then go in. I have never seen that before.
It's almost like he was showing out, like he wanted Dirk to see it. I swear he looked over to Dirk after he hit it too. And this is the playoffs. And one of my favorite things about this game had nothing to do with the game. My favorite thing about this game happened after the game when it was I can't even say it without laughing. When the Clippers addressed their level of concern after the game. Let's listen to a couple of the Clippers.
I mean, there is none. You know, it's a competition. We got to rise to the occasion. Fact of the matter is, if we don't, we're done for. But there's no level of concern.
I'm not concerned. Like I said, they got to win 4 games.
You're not concerned? You're down. You lost the first 2 games at home to Luka, and you have no answer for him, and you're not concerned? Like, why not just be honest and say, you know what, we're in trouble. We got to fight back and win this series.
You know I don't judge by what people say. I judge by what people do. And when you look at that Paul George interview, he wasn't looking up.
Head down.
He was looking down.
Good brains.
Okay? And Luka, they don't have answers for him, Jacoby. Because what I noticed is he has the size, the bulk, and the versatility to go against the bigs like Morris, but still he got the skills to boogie against the smaller guys like Beverly. And for all of those Clipper fans out there, and our producer Demetrius is one, like, I just want you guys to know, if y'all lose in the first round to the Dallas Mavs, after getting bounced last year when you were up 3-1 to the Denver Nuggets, I don't want to hear nothing. I don't want to hear nothing.
No, here's what's happening. If they get bounced in the first round, I'm going to say it right now. Pat Riley gets on the phone and calls Kawhi Leonard and says, Kawhi, I know you love Southern California, but you're also going to love Southern Florida, and we got a spot for you on the Heat. But another subplot about this game that had nothing to do with the game that I love is $50,000 fine for a gentleman named Kristaps Porzingis. Now, why did Kristaps Porzingis go to a strip club in L.A. and think that no one's going to recognize him? You think that no one's going to recognize him? How's that even happen, Jay? How's that even happen?
Oh, I know why not. It's a violation of NBA COVID protocol. Except, Jacoby, this is what happens when you don't punish LeBron James. He thought about this, and you know what he told himself? They ain't going to suspend me.
No.
They're going to fine me, but they're not going to suspend me. And so, shout to Porzingis. And by the way, this is the kind of behavior, to me, he need to have his jersey up behind you.
Let me tell you, he didn't play great in game 1. Went to the strip club in between game 1 and game 2. Played well in game 2. And he was one of those, if he's a suspicious basketball player, maybe he needs to go to the strip club between every game.
And also, can I be the guy that's been saying this for like 35 years? I know we criminalize gambling. I know we criminalize marijuana. I know we criminalize strip clubs. They're actually legal for adults. For those that don't know. I'm just saying.
I can't believe 7'3" Kristaps Porzingis really thought that no one was going to notice that
he wasn't trying to hide. Did he look like he was trying to hide?
I love it so much. Jalen, there was also another game, not as interesting as the two that involved the LA teams, because there was an absolute blowout in the game 2 between the Nets and the Celtics. Jacoby, we are Jalen Jacoby. What is it that we do?
We get the people what they want.
Another packed show of NBA playoff action. The Mavs put the Clippers in trouble. The Nets look great, but we start the show with the Los Angeles Lakers getting a much-needed win to tie up the series against the Suns. Everybody looked good on the Lakers. Jalen, what was your biggest takeaway from this win?
Well, my initial takeaway is it would have looked a lot different down the stretch for the Suns, who didn't score a basket had they had Chris Paul. With that being said, the aggression of Anthony Davis and the Lakers making a concerted effort to not only get him the basketball, but get him the basketball in and around the paint at the beginning of the game to have him be aggressive going towards the basket. Anytime he and LeBron James play a playoff game and they combine for 31 points like what happened in game 1, they're never going to win. And how about the fact he himself had 34? LeBron had 23. That's what they're going to need if this team is not only going to win this series, but Jacoby, that's what it's going to take every game. This ain't just us talking about game 2 for the Lakers. If they're going to win the championship,
you're right.
Both of those guys got to be flirting with 30s and 10s every game.
And it's not just them. Dennis Schroeder stepped up last night and played really well. But one thing I noticed about the Lakers was the difference between game 1 and game 2, in addition to LeBron and AG's production, was the defense. This was the number 1 defensive rated team in the NBA. Didn't look like in game 1, but they were in all the passing lanes. The game started with AD getting a block, which got him started. Then they put him on the block. I thought their defense was a key in this game to get this win for sure. Now, Jalen, It was a big win for Los Angeles last night, but there was also a huge loss for Los Angeles last night. The Dallas Mavericks, Game 2, in the Staples Center at home. Let's set up.
No matter if you have a bad game here or a couple bad games here, or you just stay even keel. You just stay even keel. You keep your level head. You worry about the next moment, the next opportunity that you get to be great, and you seize that opportunity. So as you get older, as you get more games, as you get more experience, as you get into the foxhole and battles, you kind of know what to expect. So I have the blueprint. I just give it all to AD.
All right, so LeBron is just fine with splitting the first 2 games of the series. In his career, he has won 12 best-of-7 series after the series was tied at 1 apiece. Only Bill Russell and Derek Fisher have won more. Remember, last year the Lakers lost Game 1 in both the first and second round. They ended up winning both series in 5 games. So Kendrick Perkins immediately got on social media, as we all tend to do, and as soon as the games end up, it's just 1 a.m. Eastern. I've got so much I want to tweet about tonight on this app, but I'm going to save energy and every word for every damn show I'm on tomorrow. And would you looky there, Kendrick Perkins with us now on Sports at a Perk. I went from a 9 to a haircut dime. I did, not you. All right, Perk, let's start with the Lakers, who even up the series behind LeBron and AD. You were telling everybody who would listen, relax after AD's poor Game 1 performance. What did you see from him in Game 2?
Well, I saw Anthony Davis be the generational talent that he is, right? One of the best in the league. This is the AD that everyone has grown to love. This is the AD that's a top 5 player in the NBA. He attacked the paint. He did not settle. Got to the free throw line like I said he should, and he did. Got to the paint, attacked DeAndre Ayton all night. But you know what else? He anchored that defense. See, this is the thing that I love about Anthony Davis. We already know he's going to give you 25 to 30 points a night, but his ability to anchor a defense, his ability to switch 1 through 5, cover ground the way that he does. Look at him pushing the rock right there. You don't see power forwards doing that. This guy is one of one. He's one of a kind. I knew he was going to step up, and he did just that, man.
You did call it. You were passionate about it. I don't think there's any argument that this is AD's Lakers team, and a pivotal Game 3 tomorrow night as the series shifts to LA.
Hold on, Matt.
Yeah.
Don't jump the gun, okay? Don't jump the gun. They still got LeBron James over there. We look. I love AD to death, but we're not gonna just say this is AD's Lakers team. Not just yet. We can't do that just yet, okay?
But we're close. Grant me that.
Yeah, inching that way. Inching that way.
Talk to me about Game 3. Give me a key.
The kid's gonna be AD again.
Oh, but it's not his team. Sorry, but go ahead.
This is the deciding factor, right? What bigs are going to dominate? We already know what LeBron James is going to do. We already know that no one could stop him. But you know who was the X factor? It was 2 of them. One was Dennis Schroeder finally decided to play the game of basketball. Andre Drummond, in his minutes, he was excellent last night. A double-double. I love what Frank Vogel did. We're going with big Marcus Saul down the stretch, a guy that could stretch the floor. See, what he did was he didn't play Montrezl Harrell because Montrezl Harrell clogs up the paint. So you could play Gasol and Anthony Davis together and let Anthony Davis be that lob threat at the basket while big Marcus Saul, the big Spaniard, he picks and pop for that tray ball. Look, it's the same recipe. Don't change nothing. The ingredients, the food tasted good in Game 2. Do the same thing that you do